Excellent. So I think this is session 7. I think. Or is it
Cool.
session 6?
I suppose.
It's 7.
It's at least 7.
Yeah.
Allow me a second.
Possibly 8.
I was going to say, I think it could be 8. I'm just waiting for me. Oh, God, my computer is getting slower.
Oh, it actually is 8 because, yes, I missed that page. It is session 8.
Well, that's fair enough then.
Session 8.
Where are we now? The year that never was. Yes, we must be on issue 8. Yeah.
So this is session 8 of Golden Heroes, the year that never was, 1980. Last session, our intrepid heroes arrived in the Kestrelverse to discover the Kestrels were trapped back in time. With the aid of a couple of rookie Kestrels, the team went back to the Victorian era, to a small town in South Wales called Merthyr Tydfil, to a place that the Kestrels were trapped in, Trevethic's workshop, which is currently behind Merthyr Polytechnic. In Trevethic's workshop, there was a mirror of Charlotte, in which the Kestrels had been trapped. The team. You didn't break the mirror? You brought the mirror with you. Can't remember whether you broke the mirror or you brought it with you.
We took the mirror back to the Kestrels, wherever it was called.
Yep. The Kestrel's nest, and they were released. And Tachyon.
I think it broke accidentally, but that was the right thing to do.
Yep. Tachyon explained how the key of time worked, and showed you how it was helped you get back to your universe. Also showing you how the key of time worked. I will point out that I do believe that the writers of Indiana Jones have stolen my idea, which I've been using for the last decade.
Sorry, the writers of what?
Which is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Oh, okay. Not seen it, but I will go to watch it and I will form a protest line.
It was quite annoying. Well, I haven't seen it, but I do believe that the particular the particular plot device I wrote a decade ago, and they stole it. But I'm not bitter. I won't hold that against them. So you
I would
currently turned back to your time. What else had you done in the watchmaker had assisted you to get to the Kestrelverse. You discovered the two Kestrels. Went back past. That was it. Yes. So you arrive in your universe, in your timeline.
Yep.
In the future. Oh wait, not the future. In 2023. Back to the time when you left. Just after the time you left. You can. Where would you like to arrive? Because Tachyon can put you anywhere, or can open a gateway, a doorway, what have you, to anywhere.
Okay, Roger, how do you fancy Buckingham Palace?
Fine. I mean, for what particular reason do we need to go back there?
Well, part of the reason I'm thinking that might be a good place to start is because I thought that what turned out to be the Nightmare Queen was the lady in white. So I think I need to go back and explain what's happened. And liked that James Patterson fella, and if anyone can help us, it might be him.
Mm. Yeah, it's as good a reason as any, I guess.
Because to be honest, I
So,
can't think of anywhere else particular.
so there are a number of places you have been that you could potentially go back to. So your home, your headquarters, what have you.
Yeah.
Battersea Power Station, Whitby, the Anderson Institute, Postman Park, the Black Museum. You also have the issue of the forest and Westwich.
That is true.
And the British Museum and the and obviously Buckingham Palace, because the White Queen is frozen there, and there was talk of a army of kind of Midwich children of Midwich being raised to attack her.
Oh gosh, now yes, as a player, I'd certainly forgotten about that.
If you mean
So
Any other suggestions, Vlad?
none that I can think of.
and Stonehenge, obviously, because that's where the Nightmare Queen kind of you accidentally released her.
Yeah, well, certainly London seems like perhaps a good place to go, and Buckingham Palace seems fine because from there we can go Postman Park, Battersea, the the museum, etc. So
I mean, Battersea's probably vacated.
Now, I can't remember whether the Jaguar were you in the Jaguar when you came across or not?
I don't think it was.
There was
I don't think it was given as an option.
because you.
And I'm sure
I
that
can't remember.
I'm sure Diamond Geezer would love to bring that car with him if he could.
Yeah. Well, he's too poorly to turn up, so you haven't got the.
Fair enough. Then.
It's Mike's fault for not turning up. No. So you arrive exactly where you want to arrive. You just need to really tie down because once you get somewhere, you're all on foot or have got to nick a car. So it's wherever you go, it's easier to get around some places than it is others. So if you were to go to Westwich, that's you need to get a car to get to London. Whereas in London, you've got several places you can go to, but if you wanted to go with Midwich, you'd have to get a car or a helicopter or some means to get there. You do have the flight ability, but it is only like level 1, and it's just not a very fast way of flying.
Yeah.
Did we leave the van somewhere at Stonehenge then?
Yes. So the van is at Stonehenge. It's not the van. The Cortina. No. The Cortina's not.
Wasn't the Cortina the one that we stole in
Van,
the other
sorry.
world?
Yes, so you did have a van and you drove to. Yes, so the van is at Stonehenge because you drove to Stonehenge, parked it, then went to Stonehenge. Then you stole a Mark II Escort Cortina the other side. So yes, there is a van at Stonehenge that Diamond Geezer has the keys for.
Yeah, so considering Mike's not very well tonight, I think the least that Diamond Geezer can do is drive us around. So shall we say that then, Roger? Go turn up so we can get the van again. Turn up at Stonehenge.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It gives you you're kind of midway. You're far away from London to then be able to find out what's going on in London because your phones will start working.
And to be fair, this is where the Nightmare Queen came out, so I suppose it's ground zero to see what she's done. If she's done anything straight away. She may not have.
Yep.
Okay then, Kevin. Yeah, so we'll try and remember the location. I mean, I went to Stonehenge a couple of weeks back when I was down south. I know there's parking.
Yeah, see this other slip road. So in the other side of the slip road, there is a parking. The van's parked, but as you kind of arrive in the car park. Nobody sees you arrive. It's after the visitor centre has shut.
Good.
And there's an air of quietness as you arrive. Eerie, almost.
No bird song.
No bird song. There's a slight degree of disorientation going from one universe to another universe. Not as bad as if you'd gone to the flat world, the flat Earth universe, because that's not spinning.
Yeah, that sounds very weird.
So you go from a spinning globe to a non-spinning globe, so you fall over, you're violently sick. It's great fun. If you arrive back, it's you're slightly out of kilter because you spent a bit of time in another universe, but not enough to make you sick or anything. You just feel like you've been somewhere else. So arrival and the quietness is a little bit unsettling. You've been running around quite a bit in the last few days, and there's almost a serene moment where you kind of arrive. It's like, oh, nothing's attacking us. We don't have to be anywhere immediately. It's a moment of reflection.
Yeah, I'm reflecting on all the mistakes that we've made.
You're back now.
Can we see the van?
Yeah, you can see the van. It does not have
clamp.
No, it does not have clamps. And your phone reconnects to whatever your phone provider is. A couple of new messages, but it looks like you have. It's been about 2 hours between when you arrived at the Stones and went through. No, it's not. It's midday. So it's she got there at midnight. So it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's 12. That's 16 hours has passed between you going into the other universe and coming back.
Are we saying that it would have been more than 16 hours in terms of what? Yeah, of course it would.
Yeah, so you've done
a lot more
you've
than
done a couple of days.
Yeah.
But it's that the time dilation is whilst you might have spent 100 years there, but if you come back same time you left, the joy is time travel.
Okie dokie. Well, I wasn't expecting that, Vlad. So that means she's only had 16 hours to get up to Summit.
Yep.
So that could have been worse.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to check the van over, make sure it's all in good order, and then perhaps we should go.
Yep, you check the van over, and it all seems to be in working order. Diamond Geezer turns the van over. No go, it's just sat there for 16 hours. It's fine.
Good. Great stuff.
Should we go get the stones in there? See if there's any sort of evidence.
So the actual visitor centre is lower than Stonehenge.
Yeah, it'll take about 10 minutes most, I think, to get to the circle.
Yeah. Because you park and you've got to go down into the visitor centre and underneath the road and then up. So you are lowest. You can't actually see, unless you kind of make an effort to stand on the side of the wheel arch of the car and look up. You can't really see the stone.
Yeah, but it'll take about 10 minutes at the very most if you want. I don't mind having a look, see if there's anything visible to mark her passing.
Okay, so you wander up to the stones, and first of all you think, well, they're not there. And then you get a bit closer, and over the brow of the hill, you realise they've all been knocked over, or they're all lying prone on the floor.
Oh,
Apart from the one stone that you walked through. So the doorway is still standing upright, but the rest of them just knocked over by the impact of time being broken.
so this is the one.
The other thing that happens, as you realise that, there is a wave of something that flows over everything, almost as if, because there is nobody trapped in the time prison, time has adjusted itself, so people then can remember the 1980, but there's like a whoosh of that, like a ripple effect through time as time adjusts itself, and it's taken a good few minutes for that to, as you get close to that area where you entered. So the time prison has been unlocked. You had replaced her, but by leaving and coming back, it's unlocked. It's unravelled a little bit. That doesn't mean to say time has changed, only that people will start remembering 1980 and the year 1980,
Funky Town.
but not the extended time period, just those 12 months. And you can say 1980, and you can remember, if you're old enough, what happened in 1980. Probably not old enough to remember your hero. That probably Mercury Man wouldn't, unless you arrived on Earth before 1980. Diamond Geezer probably would.
Vixen's not old enough.
No.
Okay.
Gosh. Well, I suppose that's a good thing.
Yes.
Well, your ability to trap her back in that time frame has gone. So the only option would be to attempt to trap her in 2023. You've got a few months left to the end of the year. You could set up another time prison just for her, possibly. Time Lord is old, bit Loopy Tunes, but it's possible you could get him to redo a new time trap, maybe improve it over the last one.
Well, I was more concerned of how will we track it down.
I was thinking that, given what happened in the last dimension, she'll probably make her presence known.
But also, there was, you remember that Watchmaker was killed by one of Odin's ravens, who is in fact Chameleon. And Chameleon is the Prime Minister, Forbes Bryson.
So, wait, let me
So
get this straight. Chameleon is one of Odin's ravens,
yes,
who is, and this
who?
was
So
prime
obviously
minister.
Odin's gone and got to dust. So the Raven, the shape-shifting creatures. He's one of the last the true shapeshifters. Calls himself Chameleon. He's been around for thousands of years. It appeared from what you discovered in the 1980 universe. That he may or may not be in league with the Nightmare Queen, given that he killed the Watchmaker.
And it's Forbes Bryson's, did you say?
Yeah, he's been hiding as Forbes Bryson's for a while.
So that does rather imply that she could be at 10 Downing Street or wherever the Prime Minister happens to be at the moment. And although it's...
Hmm.
So the Prime Minister
Oh, sorry.
the Prime Minister can be in two places. You would find him in Parliament, three places: Parliament, number 10 Downing Street, or Chequers.
And it isn't the same chameleon, so she's got to win him over.
It is the same
Oh, is it?
chameleon, because only she was trapped in 1980. Everyone else moved forward.
You well and truly confused me there. So when did the watchmaker die?
Watchmaker died in 1980. Was killed by chameleon. However, you've brought him back, so it's possible the Watchmaker is alive now.
How much of a headache have you got, Vlad?
Oh,
This makes perfect sense.
yes.
I don't want to complain. It makes absolutely perfect sense.
I am trying to compute.
Timey-wimey stuff.
Yeah, but if you consider from your perspective, everything in the past has happened and cannot be changed. But if you were to go back to the past and change something, time itself would make an adjustment to allow that. So you go back and kill Hitler, you come back to the future, you go, I've killed Hitler. And then you look at the history books and it's Himmler that's the it's Adolf it's Himmler that's done all the bad stuff. You think, oh, that's bad. You go back and kill Himmler, and you discover it's actually Rudolf Hess, or it's Kammler, or Goebbels, or any of the others. So it can't. History says it's almost like history says this has to happen. Somebody has to take full. Somebody has to do it. So therefore, no matter who you kill, I'm going to adjust things to fit. So something big. But if you go down and you move someone out of the way so they don't get hit by a car, unless that person has an impact on time itself, nothing happens. So you go back and kill Oppenheimer, come back and forward. It's Einstein that stays and does it. The bomb has to happen, whether it's Oppenheimer or Einstein or the janitor, Mr. Smith, doesn't matter. One of those guys is going to create it because it has to happen. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
The difference is changing stuff in a different universe, or if somebody from the future comes back, that's when you might be you might have issues because the time can be changed from their perspective because it's already happened. So your life up. So somebody comes from 2050, 27 years in the future. Of those 27 years, they could make a change and history would adjust itself. But because it's their past and not you, and it's your future, it's already happened from their perspective. So it doesn't matter what you do, it won't change anything. But they can change, they can alter, make minor changes. I mean, if you went back and dropped a nuclear bomb on Cuba during the Cuban Missile Crisis, you would find that time, because it's such a big event, time would adjust itself, and you'd probably find that the 3 Mile Island event is kind of brought back in time to kind of make the 3 Mile Island event the catalyst for the nuclear bomb in Cuba, but not start a war, but have a contained event that other things have been brought into, if that makes sense. Time would adjust itself to. Basically, the GM would try and outsmart you.
Yes.
Up to a point that would work.
Yeah. Right.
But I think I shared that meme of the little image of that guy going, I found a time travel, I killed Hitler. And they're like, I killed Hitler as a baby. And they're like, I don't know who this adult is, but it's this guy just said he's killed a baby. And they lock him up for it.
Yeah.
And that would be correct, because in that time frame, they go back and go, well, yeah, 1945, this person matching this description beat this kid to death with a stone over the shovel.
I get you.
Yeah. But the World War II would always happen because it's such a big event.
Yeah.
That cannot be unravelled. You've got loads of people you could put into the place. The guy that was Hitler's mentor before he became during the putsch, the Munich putsch. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was his mentor. It could be him. I'd go with Himmler. Himmler's the Himmler and Hess, but Himmler's the main candidate for history adjusting itself for that.
Okay, right, all right.
So anyway, so at this moment in time, nobody from the future has come back, so you are free to go, so to speak, because you don't know about Benji. I mean, you do know. Actually, no, that's not correct, because you do know that the eagle's nest came from the future.
Yes. Yeah.
And crashed out. Yep. So as that came from the future, the eagle's nest has a computer bank, computer memory core that may hold keys. May be useful, may not be useful. Certainly, you know it flies, and you know what it is, and where it is, and how to get into it. And you know that the Terror is no longer in the eagle's nest because the Eagles have got back together again, but a new group of heroes calling themselves the Eagles kind of exist.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
Where do we can either go? How far is Westwich from here?
Westwich is where's my?
I think
There it is. I think Westwich is it's a vague area as to where it is. I think I might have. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's Mirrors of Shot. Oh, that's Mirrors of Shot. Oh no, yeah, it never was. Destructive Force, Queen, better.
So because we're back in our time, it should still be quite a chaotic time because they've had that nuclear blast happening.
So, as your phone's trying to catch up with a bit of news, the have I lost it? Oh, it's on here. So you have martial law. You got Strike Force, and the giant mech running around, stop people. Superheroes have been banned because of the nuclear bomb. People have been blamed for that. It's the West Country. Westwich is a sleepy little hamlet in the West Country. It's surrounded by farmland and has a little contact with the outside world. So the West Country is up north somewhere.
Right. Okay, I thought it might be close to where we are, but so where do we go next?
Okay, so we've still got Buckingham Palace as an option, or we could. I don't know what we would do at the Eagle's Nest. It's a good way off.
It's a giant flying spaceship.
Yeah, when you put it like that, it's got potential. Or we head into London and look for the watchmaker.
Actually, they're taking a step back. You do actually, don't you have the nuclear bomb in the boot of the Jaguar?
No, it's
you do actually have the
Mercury Man's chest.
Didn't you get the nuke? Right, yeah, that's it. You do have, yeah. So, but because I thought he wanted the, I really thought he wanted the Jag. Okay, we'll assume that the vehicle you're driving is whichever vehicle we remember it is. We'll gloss over whether it's the Jag or the truck. But let's phrase this as Diamond Geezer is driving his vehicle. Because I can't remember. I'll go back and check and see which one it is. But yes, so Mercury Man has a nuclear bomb in his chest.
I don't think you've taken it out just yet, have you?
No.
No.
Don't. But you are being told not to have hiccups.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Indeed. Yeah, so what do we want to do with this thing anyway?
At this moment in time, I'm not entirely sure. Even if we could strap the Nightmare Queen to it, it'd have to be blown up somewhere well away from intelligent life and possibly non-intelligent life. Oh.
Right. Well, we've got our car, so perhaps we should go and talk to what's his name at Buckingham?
Patterson.
Yeah, Mr. Patterson, James Patterson. You also have got Queen Victoria in a frozen state and the White Queen in a frozen state.
Yeah, who we think is some sort of fairy type creature, but we're not sure.
Yep.
Mm.
But also, she was saying that the West Witch children that Thomas the Rhymer had raised is coming from the West Country to Buckingham Palace to kill her or try and kill her because they blame her for trapping the Nightmare Queen, even though possibly wasn't her.
I don't know about you, Vlad, but I think that's the clincher, don't you? Buckingham Palace, then.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Perhaps now the Nightmare Queen's been freed, do you think they'd still be wanting to march on the palace?
Well, it's whether they know.
Yeah.
They're still marching. They're still getting to the palace. It's whether they can find whether the Thomas the Rhymer knows.
Well, we can make it known potentially, but okay. Well, let's drive up. It's going to take a few hours, I think.
Yeah.
2-3 hours.
Stonehenge to Buckingham Palace. You can get to the outside. You can get to the outskirts of London. You've got the M3. Yeah, M3, and you will get stuck in traffic as you get closer. But also, there'll be roadblocks. Because a bomb has gone off.
Yeah. It's,
They'll be checking radiation. How much radiation comes off an inert nuclear bomb from the 50s?
I'm hoping the clue's in inert.
The other issue with that is that the bomb that Flood has in his chest will have the exact nuclear radiation signature as the bomb that's gone off.
That is true.
right.
Yeah.
Because they are the same bomb. According to the news reports, the bomb did go off. A nuclear bomb went off. So, given everything you know about the time, what you don't quite understand is how you've managed to end up with another nuclear bomb, given that time can't just create one.
Well, there've been a small number of broken arrows, haven't there? So maybe time has shifted one into place.
But it's what's possibly happened is that time has, in effect, given you the nuclear bomb from the Kestrel verse, because that never went off and is still in the lockup, and therefore you can have two bombs because time has adjusted itself. It's almost like squeezed out a bomb from one universe just to fix the time issue. Because all universes follow a kind of a linear pattern. It's really rare for a new universe to begin or a new timeline to happen. It's happened a couple of times. It's happened once. So it's possible that collapsing universe had some residual stuff that could be brought over. But whatever time has done, you have a nuclear bomb, and a nuclear bomb went off in Bristol. The same nuclear bomb. Wouldn't recommend driving to Bristol in case there's some kind of cross the beams event, but streams, not beams, streams.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in your car and you're driving east to London, trying to head to Buckingham
and probably
Palace.
trying to avoid as many roadblocks as we possibly can. I don't know how easy that's going to be, but
you find that it's a lot quieter on the M3 than you're expecting.
okay.
Looking at news reports, Strike Force have been taking out superhero groups, remnants of superhero groups that they've been rounding them up. And Larkmead. They've been locked up in Larkmead in ISO, kind of like mini ice forts, to the extent that you can't really see any heroes or villains that are kind of left. Strike Force have been quite it's the SAS in power armor, so with the best one in the world, if the SAS in power armor have decided they're going to get you, you're got, really. So you do a quick mental count and you kind of think that there's almost, you're 90, 95, 99% convinced there's kind of nobody left, no superheroes left. Or if there are,
No,
you don't know who died
idea.
in Bristol Temple Meads. You know that a couple of squadrons have been picked up and are in jail. You think that the peacemakers, who have recently returned from their imprisonment at the end of the universe, end of the galaxy. Sorry. They haven't been mentioned, but they were probably hanging around with Dice, so maybe out of Europe,
Yeah.
maybe out in Europe. We don't know much about them. The Eagles, no word on the Eagles. Last time we heard about the Eagles, they were what are they doing? They've gone to the Shadow Gate. They were back. No, the Eagles are quiet. It's difficult to tell whether they've gone to Bristol or they're holed up in the Eagle's Nest hiding,
Right.
or
Okay.
just where they are. Each of you has an Eagle flight ring, though.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
However, it's the range of it you can't detect any eagles close by. So if they are held up, they're in. You're not going to be able to contact them this far south of the Eagle's Nest. So you get closer and closer to London.
Yeah.
You see that as you get closer, just by about junction 5, on the other side of the road, cars have begun to piled up, almost as if whoever came up here, or somebody came up here on the wrong side of the road and started destroying cars on their way up. So there's cars burnt out up there. The lorries have been jackknifed. It's like a classic BBC apocalyptic show. You know, a Doctor Who episode where there's the cars up here and there turned over. But that wave of destruction gets as you get closer to London, gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The bridge over the M25 has collapsed, and you get under the M25 into the outskirts of London, and you start to see the smoke. Black smoke is pouring into the sky from London.
Okay.
From one main source, or just sort of
So, kind of in one main source in the centre. As you look closer, you can see lightning sparking upwards. It's like funneling dark matter into the sky.
I think that's where we need to be.
It's over the heart of London.
Blimey.
From this distance, you cannot tell whether it is Parliament, 10 Downing Street, Battersea, the Palace, Postman Park, the Black Museum. It's something somewhere in the centre, at the heart of London.
Yeah.
So you're heading towards London. Is there anything you'd like to do before, as you get closer?
Well, seems though it's just me and Vlad actively speaking. Shall we go airborne and just get Diamond Geezer and Talisman to carry on in the van? If we go airborne, try and find out where this event is centered on.
Yeah.
Shall we do that?
Should I? Yeah.
Vlad can fly fast and can fly high and fast. You can only kind of hover-ish. But Vlad can take you up.
Yeah, I've forgotten what you said about the flight rings, but Vlad's got is you on?
Yeah,
Yeah, you got flight 1 as well, haven't you, Vlad? Naturally speaking.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I had flight, and then I got a +1 onto that from my allocation of points or whatever. So I think it should be level 2. But
You've
anyway,
got me there.
you can take us both up, I think.
Yeah. You get higher and higher into the sky, matching the vehicle speed, so you could come back down again and get into the vehicle quite easily. But this is the point where we say there's a sunroof to get in and out of. Although that is dangerous, getting out of a sunroof in a Mark II Cavalier driving around Wales.
No, leave it.
I'm not going to elaborate on that story. So you get up and you look, and the black plume of billowing smoke is coming from the O2 arena. But you can, as you get high, you can see that there has been what looks like damage to the rough vicinity of Buckingham Palace, possibly Parliament. If you are some distance away, and you can see bits of smoke, it could be an optical illusion, but certainly the area, the O2 arena is really where the billowing black smoke is coming up.
Shall we head over there then? Oh God, I'm torn. Do we check on the palace first? Okay, all right, Kevin, that's where we're going.
Okie dokie. So you drive, come back down, land in the back of the car. You're driving closer and closer to London. You get into the outskirts of London. There have been roadblocks. Mike's quite a good driver. Sorry, Barmig is quite a good driver, knows the back roads. So I will say that he has managed to find those back roads to get past the roadblocks, going in underpasses, driving through pedestrian areas where there's simply a walkway under road bridges. You've been driving off road.
Good man.
But you've managed to get into the heart of London, and there's no cars about. Nobody's driving. There's cars upturned on the side of the road, smashed up, burnt out. It does look like an apocalyptic wasteland. As you get round Marble Arch to the fountain where, just outside Parliament, you can see rows and rows of soldiers have barricaded Buckingham Palace. They've almost turned it into a fortress. So cars, sandbags, a whole host of stuff are lined up against the railings, field guns, and strange-looking devices have been rolled out. Some are pointing upwards, some pointing downwards. There's guys on top of Buckingham Palace. Strike force isn't there, but you've got an array of what looks like soldiers, beefeaters. It also looks like there's a group of Chelsea pensioners have turned up, but anyone in uniform with a weapon is standing there. Standing by the flag is a robed guy holding a staff, but it's too far away to see who that is.
Rat, I haven't even got heightened senses.
What do you make of this? Do we try and get closer?
Well, at least we know Patterson's name. I've got every hope that these guys have responded to the possible attack. Maybe it's happened and they've driven off the mutant children, or I just don't know. But I'm hoping if we at least show up and show that we don't mean any harm and ask to speak to Patterson, we might get away with it. I'm not going to turn into a Weir Fox just at the moment, though.
You could walk up to the gates and look, I've got a nuclear bomb, let me in.
It's worth a shot.
That would be a shot in the
That
head.
would be a bad
very
idea.
quickly, bad idea. However, walking up
Yeah.
and shouting from a distance, we're here to see James Patterson, we've got news, we are friendlies, and hope that we just don't get shot.
Assume you give your
I'll
names.
certainly declare that I am Dr. Sally Blake.
Cool.
I'll do that.
So if that's what you want to do, you arrive. You step out of the car and walk towards the palace, and you suddenly see all of the soldiers are pointing their guns at you, raising your hands in the air. You declare who you are. You hear something that could be a voice instruction on the wind, and the guy at the top in the robe with a wooden staff kind of blinks out. And next thing you see, he is on the gravel path in front of Buckingham Palace, and things are moved out of the way, and a doorway is opened, and a couple of guys come out with red coats on. Don't have the Busby hats because they're ridiculous. But beckon you all in. It's big enough to drive. It's actually big enough to drive the vehicle. And they open the side gate. You drive the vehicle and they shut it, move the sandbags and stuff back in to cover the gates. And James Patterson comes over wearing what looks like Druid's outfit, a wooden staff, a torque around his head or neck. It says, "You have returned to us.
Yeah. It didn't go well.
I fear we don't have much time
What's
left."
happened here?
Somebody has released the Nightmare Queen from her prison, and she has run.
Has there been an attack on the palace?
Not yet, but in 2 hours, it appears our illustrious Prime Minister will hand over power to the Nightmare Queen, and England will be hers. Great Britain will be hers. United Kingdom will be hers. And he makes that. It goes from England to Great Britain to United Kingdom, and then he goes, and from there the Empire will be hers.
Who's the chap with the staff? Ah, sorry, that was him. Oh,
James
right.
Patterson. Yeah. Also known as Hugh Gardan, ancient deity.
Yep, understood.
Ancient Welsh.
Surely we need to stop this from happening.
We have a number of fronts coming. In addition to the Nightmare Queen being declared the Empress of the Empire, there is a small army coming from up north, an army of elven hybrids or fey hybrids, 30 creatures that were grown in Westwich. According to the White Queen, they're coming to assault the palace.
And the men outside are loyal to the monarchy.
Undying loyalty to the monarchy.
Most of the military is with the Prime Minister, or are we not sure?
A large portion of the army is with the Prime Minister. Any member of the army that enters Buckingham Palace will turn and protect the Queens and the King. Sorry, unquestionably. If strike force were to land in the forecourt, they would immediately protect the palace.
Take it that's an unusual feature of the palace grounds, or somebody within it.
That's
nice to know.
That's magic for you.
Any idea where the Nightmare Queen is right now?
Best guess, given that they announced in 2 hours that the ceremony will be performed in the O2 Arena. She's in the O2 Arena.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense now. I've seen the event that's occurring in the sky. What do you reckon then, Vlad?
Should we go over there and see what we can, approach the arena and see what we can determine from a safe distance?
It's looking that way, isn't it?
I don't know. Do you think we have a chance of neutralizing this Nightmare Queen? Do you think she's too powerful for us?
You have the element of surprise, a nuclear bomb in your chest, and you know what trapped her last time, and you also know how to get access to that person.
Oh, hang on. Did we say that was Time Lord that managed to trap her?
Yeah, you rescued.
Yeah, the Tinderlost.
You rescued him from. Yeah, and he's currently with the. And you can access the Anachronic Man by leaving a small note behind the
is absolutely
one of the
right.
plaques in Postman Park.
So, if we could potentially arrange to have another time prison prepped.
Not that I can remember the details of how she was trapped, but what do you think? Leave a note in Postman's Park and see if we can get in touch with Moses and Time Lord and ask for their assistance. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, I think so. Because, yeah.
Okay.
So you have quite a large army, a bunch of elven crazies coming down. At the very least, they will be able to, and given that you realise that Hugh Gardan, James Patterson, seems to be quite powerful. you get the sense that they are okay-ish
Yeah. Okay.
in terms of protection, notwithstanding what power the White Queen has at her disposal, despite her being trapped in ice.
Okay.
So ask. Well, I may as well call him Hugh Gardan. Do you have a pen and piece of paper by any chance, so I can just write a quick note?
He waves his hand, and a piece of paper
Fantastic.
and clipboard appear in your hands.
Come on then, Vlad. Dear Moses and Time Lord, we really need your help. Need to trap Nightmare Queen again. Please come quickly.
Accidentally let her out, soz. Big boy made me do it. Yeah, so it's going to take you from Buckingham Palace to the Postman's Park. Isn't going to take too long because it is. There seems to be no. You should be the only car that's driving around London at the moment. It's like some weird apocalyptic 3 a.m. filmed 28 days later kind of event. It's a bit weird, unnerving, because you are expecting to be hit at any time, but you're not. You haven't been hit yet. You're kind of expecting something to happen, but as you race to Postman's Park, you can find that you park close to the Bank of England. It's not too far away from the bank. It's not too far away from the Bank of England. Park the car to make it look as though it's been like dumped. Or park naturally because dumping is arriving in Postman's Park. Standing in Postman's Park is a figure robed in a yellow cape and a black all-in-one costume but you can't see his face.
Yeah.
Because you kind of run into the park, he kind of in a slow motion puts himself in a fighting stance.
Hello.
Oh, we've not seen this.
He does a classic Bruce Lee move where he moves his hand, his right hand, which is facing down. He turns the palm upwards, and the four fingers just beckons you forward, and then he clenches his fist.
No introductions?
Nope. You don't recognise him as a supervillain or superhero. And bearing in mind, you're kind of geeky about this because you trolled Diamond Geezer to get him to join you, kind of thing, and you kind of set your group as you are a little bit kind of nerdy when it comes to superheroes, so just doesn't look familiar at all.
Okay, this is the bit where I shape change into a martial artist extraordinaire Weirfox, which I haven't done for quite a long while.
No. The last time you had a fight with someone, you almost got a lot of you almost got
Yeah.
twatted by one guy.
Yeah, I had to stay human for that. I remember it, very painful. He's a beast, though, Nat Jager is.
Let's go back on. Yeah.
Right. Well, we'll casually step forward and. Oh, how far away is this character?
Let's say initially 30 feet away.
Oh, quite close. I'll just take a step forward and say, what is it? Did you say it was 3 a.m. or something like that?
No, it looks like 28 days later, 3 a.m. So it's going to be. I should probably get into. It's maybe at 9, 10 o'clock in the evening. Actually, given the length of time it's taking you to drive from Stonehenge, and you arrive there like 16 hours at 4 o'clock.
Because we're still in
4, 5, 6.
we're still in early January, aren't we? So
Yeah.
it'll be pitch black, apart from any street lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's 9 o'clock at night, and it is dark. So you can see him, but it's more. You can see a yellow, almost a floating yellow cape. But as he moves a little bit, you can see.
Good. Well, I'll take a step forward and say, good evening.
You will not pass, he says in a deep baritone.
Oh, okay.
Why is that then?
I have been ordered by my queen to not.
Well, that's
let
enough
you
for me,
pass.
Vlad. I'm going for him. He's under control. He's not one of our mates.
Right. Mm-hmm.
No, and you are.
Yes. How do we do that in this? I've forgotten how to do it.
Yeah. So 1d10 plus your dex.
Minus 17.
My dex is 16. So
one.
I've got 22.
D10, you say? So a 2? That's bloody rubbish.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to go first. My dexterity is 16 plus the 6.
Mine added up to 19.
My dex is 11, and I've rolled a
2. So I go for. I don't gain extra frames. So he goes first, and he is going to shoot electricity. What? So his was class 3. What's it move?
Alright then. You're talking about mine.
What's your DC?
Oh.
No, Vlods.
6, isn't it?
Easy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, 6.
Yeah, because you've got no proper armour or anything like that.
So 10. What a shit. Sorry, it's a blast of electricity goes just past your shoulder and hits the wall. It looks like he's got an some kind of pistol.
Let's see. Uh, okay.
So he's only got one shot.
Is it a two frame action for his attack anyway? Because your initiative score was 22. Yeah, so a difference of 3. So you gained a 2 frame advantage over us. So,
I've got this down.
It's a shocking way to treat a stranger.
No, there was no ambush or surprise. Was it? We won't worry about that. Just go with normal attacks. But given that it's dark, once he removes his yellow cape, he's going to be invisible.
That's near good.
No. It is in fact stockade.
Right. Got you. Yikes. Okie dokie. It's going to make it awkward, but all I can do is try to hit the swine. So it's whatever the strike penalties come with that. Are we saying that he's still got his cape at the moment? Okay.
Yep. Almost as if it's deliberate for you to see him.
Yeah, that's worrying me now. That is. Okay. Now that he's had his I won initiative, blah blah blah. Who goes next? Oh, right. That is
the next person with the highest dexterity. So his defense class is 6.
I'm just trying to look up the strike modifiers. Are you wanting to give him any sort of, or give me rather, a penalty, such as classing him as being in cover, or
no, because he's deliberately standing there so you can see him as you come in. There's no attempt to be stealthy. And I think if he didn't have the cape, you wouldn't have seen it coming. But it's almost like it's been deliberate. He's been deliberately put there to make a feeling
about this. But I mean, I've only got martial arts anyway, so in Weirfox form anyway. So I will go for that. So I'll attempt to give him a right good kick.
So your weapons class. So his defense is 6, and your weapons class is what? So you look at 8 or more to hit.
I've got a +2 strike modifier. high dex. So it's effectively an 18.
Yep.
That's good
Cool.
to know.
So you hit him. He has no.
It's not
He
as
doesn't
though
have any armor on.
fist and foot attacks do a great deal of damage. I'm just looking to see what.
No.
I will go for the
It's a 2d6.
2d6 plus 6 hits to coma, 1d6 hit to kill option. So I'll roll 2d6.
Cool.
5. Okay. So 5 plus 6 is 11 hits to coma. And hits to kill 3.
Yep. Oh, that's the other way around. So that's and that's okay. Push back, recovery, ignore that. Just go. Okay, so he doesn't move as you hit him. You feel the impact. But he doesn't get knocked back or anything. Lord.
Right, so Lord's going to, I think, so I've got usual attacks. I've got grow into combat.
Yes, you can effectively do a plastic man and kind of grow a big fist and punch him,
it's
or
a
grow
trick of
8
your
foot tall
growth power.
and kind of
Yeah.
leap on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I will allow you to use Mike's character for combat, given that he's
Awesome.
Diamond is the most powerful with a punch.
Okay.
If he can land it just for this this fight. If you've got his character sheet, you can go afterwards.
okay, so let me roll a d20 first.
Two.
So your what's your weapons class?
No strike bonus.
Vlod's weapons class is 2.
Well done.
10 or more, so you hit.
Are you thinking of were you thinking of growing into combat or just using your normal fist? Okay, so
No, this
two
is growth
2d6
combat.
plus 6 hits to coma. No, I think what you seem to have done is rolled 1 dice and you've added your damage modifier for the skill, which is fair enough, but you need to roll another 1d6 and add another 6. Oh, sorry, am I?
Yeah, that's just
sorry. Okay, so I'm getting confused now.
Yeah.
Are you applying your +4 to hits to kill? I don't mind if you do that. You can do whatever you want. That's how you've rolled it. Your first one was your hits to coma, and then you're definitely doing 1d6 plus the 4 hits to kill.
Yeah. So,
okie dokie.
Yeah.
The way I understand your
I can
+4 damage can be split between coma or kill, or you can add it to one or the other. It's only the specified 2d6 plus 6 hits to coma that you have to be rigid with. I think your +4 can go to any of them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what you've done there is now I understand.
Gotcha,
I didn't see
yeah.
your first roll, so that looks fine to me.
Yeah.
Well, I will. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
16 off hits Tacoma.
Mhm.
16 off hits Tacoma.
Yeah.
So down to, and 9 off hits to kill. Well, listen,
I mean,
hits to
we
kill
can
9.
discuss whether we wanted to keep him alive or not.
Okay, so he still doesn't knock back. His arms are moving up to remove his cape this turn,
Do you
next
want
round.
to
But Diamond Geezer gets a
roll
pop.
for Diamond Geezer?
So
let me just have a quick look.
you can roll for Diamond Geezer.
So he's on weapon class 3, which presumably is because of his pugilism skill.
Yep. So it's 9 or more to hit.
Shall we go for a Sunday punch, Vlad? Or Roger? I've got no idea what his
Because that's Sunny
catchphrase
Punch
is
is
for
his
his
powerful
Sunday
one
punch.
shot
I can
hit.
only apologise for that.
It's not
Closing
clobbering
time, my
time.
arse. D20.
Pubs ain't shut.
18.
Yeah. Okay, so good order.
That's good. That goes over. That's you hit him.
Yeah.
Because we might not get another chance.
That's all hits
No.
Tacoma. I've got no real intention to kill the guy, so I'm going to slam all of his damage modifier into hits Tacoma. So, oh, come on, you stupid thing. D6. So that's his die. So it's 9 plus 12 is 21. Plus 33 damage modifier. So 54 hits Tacoma. And 1 hit to kill.
Okay. So I think yes, you are. 1 hit to kill. Oh, so that takes that down to that. Hits Tacoma. You have knocked him out. Because you have done over 20 points of damage, you have pushed him back. You've pushed him back for 30 squares. He's hit the wall. 3 squares. He's hit the wall. He takes, I think it's a point of damage for each square he goes back. So you are actually going to render him
Awesome. For every 5 hits
borderline
to kill
death
above,
by hitting him so hard.
or part thereof above the character's threshold, is driven back 2 meters. We were 50.
So you were
54,
40 points. Yeah, he only had 14 hits to come left. So you're 40 above. So you whack him into the wall. His pushback is 20.
The difference.
He's staggered.
From 20 to 54.
Stoned. Yeah, he's.
So you're looking at 6, 7. Don't forget, it's for every 5 hits Tacoma.
40
over. So it's a multi. It's a 7.
Yeah. So
it's 34, which translates into 7 multiples of 5. he's driven back 2 meters per multiple, so it's 14 meters. And if he hits an obstacle, he's a further 1d6 hits to coma.
Yeah,
And he's well and truly unconscious.
so he's basically out for the count. He's unconscious, lying in a coma. Yeah, he's not getting up for a couple of days. You punched him through his cloak and wiped him out.
He does indeed.
Diamond Gears does have that powerful punch, which can be useful. Obviously, he couldn't hit for Toffee, and Tindalos. So you managed to knock him out.
Visible.
There's nobody else.
I'll lope on over to this.
No, it's all quiet. As you start to walk over, the yellow cape just floats down and lands in the fountain, in the kind of the fountain feature in the centre of Poston Park in the illumination, placing the piece of message behind the preordained plaque. Moments later, a great gate opens in the side of the building, and a 3-story English terrace house, Edwardian terrace house, pops through, and a rope is dropped, and you are beckoned on to the time laboratory of the anachronic man.
Will I have time to grab the weapon that
Yes. Yes.
Should we take
It's a electro arc pistol. Energy weapon. Energy weapon class 3. Damage is 15d6 over 5 rounds. Grade 1
equivalent
electricity.
of energy attack grade 1.
You say 15d6?
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
I'm glad that missed me.
And looking at it, you think it's really easy to recharge. You can have Stockade's weapon, which I must admit it could be useful. Could be useful.
Yeah.
But for argument's sake, we won't do it over 5 rounds. You can modify it because you're an advanced technological race, and you can fire it in one go. So 15d6 in one go before it needs recharging.
Wow. Okay.
So it's a one shot, 15d6. Then you've got to go and recharge it. So it's kind of once a combat,
As a
you get
last
a 15d6
resort,
attack.
that's not a bad bit of tinkering.
Eesh.
Just coming out of game for a second, if you think that the horror has got a 20 dice attack per round, admittedly you wouldn't want to go up against that round after round, but 15d6 in one go, you can't actually do that in the rules as they stand. So it's pretty good.
No, it's a bit lightweight. Some of the energy attacks, 15d6, but spread over 5 rounds. It's not. You can do it in one go. It's not great. I always found that it was much better, much easier just going right.
Yeah,
it is just every time you fire, it's 15d6 because it's more fun, more damage, a lot more fun, and less maths. Less maths trying to work out whether you fired, how many you fired.
Well,
you just used to use the right. You've got 15d6 each round.
Powers in the comics,
but everyone else has.
They don't have to pick and choose. Whereas the Golden Heroes rules really do keep energy users guessing.
Yeah.
And when you can have Diamond Geezer punching 4 times a round, with 33 extra points of damage per frame. it's
Yeah.
a bit much. So even I would reduce it to 3 rounds myself, but give maximum dice.
I
And even
remember.
that's not
Yeah.
brilliant. Yours idea per round is probably the best option.
Yeah. I mean, when you don't have to worry about the math. You go, it's per round for the bad guys. You've got exactly the same. So there's lots of rolling dice. It's
Yep,
anyway,
we'll get
it's
on
fun.
board.
So you do have a quite a high
Sweet.
powered weapon.
Mm.
So
Oh,
the
please,
Anna
yes.
Man.
There's nothing like a
So
little bit of
we're just
late
having
evening
tea. If you'd
fisticuffs
like to join us,
get the palate ready for some sweet tea.
and you dip out of the timeline. He says we have English muffins, crumpets, and
Bagel.
those stupid bread things with holes in that the Americans like.
Well, you did have a cowboy on board last time.
There's an array of food, bagels, stupid things. Guns. Yeah, as you said, gunslingers sitting around the table, kind of. So I am here, as he eats some bagels. He says, Quackbag says, so you've returned back from your adventures in time.
We didn't really
get
off to a good start, and now the world's going to poo-poo.
No, we had noticed
thanks
that
to us,
the Nightmare Queen had escaped her prison. That's unfortunate. Time Lord is, as we speak, preparing with our assistants, preparing a second jail for 2023. But
that means that the world is going to lose
more permanently.
The year 2023 in the same way they lost 1980. Is that right?
Yes, everyone will forget. That's part and parcel of the simple time lock. The only caveat is that now that she has escaped and time has allowed that free flow from 1980, our research indicates that the facilitator of her release needs to be removed because he has done it once and may do it again. I'm afraid. Yes. Well, from everything you've told me, it appears that the psychic ghost thing that you saw in the museum was in fact this person impersonating her. I'm afraid, gentlemen, you're going to have to assassinate the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Forbes Bryson.
Okay.
Chameleon must die.
Well, let's look at it from this point of view, Vlad.
Okay.
If we manage to assassinate Chameleon, who looks like the Prime Minister, and it gets splashed all over the news because there's bound to be somebody with a mobile phone with a camera or CCTV or some other sort of recording mechanism. Has it?
No, because all that's been shut down because of the. Yes, you found that it was just the BBC News broadcast that was relaying the information. The cell network was being shut down.
Well, that won't stop
when
people
you left.
with cameras on
it was being
phones,
controlled by the government.
The point I was getting to is that 2023 is going to get time locked, so it won't matter if the entire world sees us killing, because they'll just not be able to remember anything. It's kind of a win-win.
Yep. Yep.
Well,
Because the chameleon is tied to the Nightmare Queen, and the idea of the time lock is everyone forgets the existence of the Nightmare Queen per se. That is absolutely correct. If you kill chameleon, nobody will remember you killing chameleon.
but presumably, if we do kill chameleon, then presumably it'll revert to its default.
Yep. So the whoever is the deputy PM will find themselves PM. Presume they've always been PM, and time will just go, oh, that's fixed, kind of thing. It will adjust itself to suit, given that this is a kind of a loop.
Okay. So, should we do that first, or do we try and trap the Nightmare Queen first?
So, Anachronoman says that you can't trap the Nightmare Queen. Time Lord is the only one with the capacity to do that, and that is what he's currently. We've got him stable enough to be able to do this. We are assisting him. We are able to create the time loop. Stockade, as you've, will be the sacrificial lamb that is the key to the time lock, as was, it appears, Trickster Girl. So, in the future, Stockade will always collapse or die at that place. However, because he's invisible, unlike Trickster Girl, it's going to work because he's never going to be seen. So nobody's going to see him appearing and hitting the wall and disappearing. And he is the time lock. And because he's invisible, it's going to be so much better than the last one.
Okay.
In fact, as we speak, he is being brought aboard, and we are preparing him to be the time lock.
Okie dokie.
But you do need to kill the Prime Minister.
Do you happen to know, because we know that the Prime Minister is some kind of elfin type of creature, do you have any idea if they've got any vulnerabilities, or are they a bit like humans and we should be able to pulverize them in some way or other?
He is a chameleon. So he simply has the ability to change shape. He has no energy weapon. His power is to blend in.
Right.
He is not a super strong being. He's simply someone that can change shape. And that longevity, that ability to change shape has created almost a longevity to his to him. So he has the same. He can die just as much as others. In fact, we came across the other Raven centuries ago, and fought.
Right, I wasn't aware of that.
Killing it. It just was a
you happen to know
shape-shifting, rather
which
annoying
was which, as in which was
creature.
Moon and which was Hugin? Okay.
No. No, didn't get that far. Because they are annoying shapeshifters.
So the only disadvantage, Vlad,
it's
is if we don't get Forbes Bryson on his own somewhere, he can blend into a crowd, and I've got no way of tracking him.
That is correct. Nope. However, we know exactly where he's going, where he is currently. He is heading towards the O2 Arena to give the Nightmare Queen, the Empress, to make it Empress of the Empire, or whatever crazy thing that they've decided to call her.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the muffins and tea.
We best get moving then.
And once again, thank you very much for all the hard work with Time Lord, and we hope very much that your plan succeeds. And we'd best get a move on then.
Mm-hmm. No, one other thing. One of the ravens, maybe both, can teleport.
What sort of distance?
It's a good one, yeah.
That
is a
it's
good
grade
one.
3. It's quite distant.
Even in game terms, it's enough that we will lose track of them instantly.
Okay. Yeah,
that is correct. So you would need to do a big attack on him, big surprise attack.
Yeah.
He says, as we speak, there are a couple of. There's a what vehicle is it going to be? Jaguar or Range Rover? Be a Jaguar and 4 Outriders, followed by 2 Land Rovers, Range Rovers, heading from Downing Street to the O2. He's in the Jaguar.
Make sure your electro arc pistol is charged to maximum.
Oh, we need to.
Two thoughts sprang into my mind. One was to drop Diamond Geezer on the car. And the other one was for Vlad to shoot the car with the electro pistol on
full
15d6.
diamond mode. Yep.
I'm not sure a nuclear bomb in the heart of London
there is
the
another
way
option.
To go. Very.
Quite effective.
Yeah. We might take ourselves out.
Going to blaze of glory. I say blaze of glory. Assassinate the Prime Minister with a nuclear bomb is possibly not a blaze of glory.
Blaze of infamy?
Yeah.
Right. Do we want to get ahead of them and lay an ambush of some sort, or do we chase them or catch up to them from behind?
So in terms of projectile weapons, you have what?
I mean, Talisman.
The gun. Diamond Geezer's punch.
See, we haven't used him for such a long while, but he is with us. We just have a quick look at his character
bit
sheet.
of magic.
So he's got he has got energy strike, which is the 2 magic points cost per d6. My only offensive capabilities really are hallucinations or mind war, and they only work on, well, the mind war only works on psychics. So not sure whether chameleon counts as one of them or not, but I'm a bit limited. I could do.
Possibly not. What you could do a hallucination on the driver, get him to slam his brakes on at the right point, whereupon
Yeah,
there's the 2 energy blasts
can welly into the car
from Vlad and Talisman, and then Diamond Geezer comes down, comes flying down with a gigantic big punch, and that gives you something like 15d6 plus drop everything that Talisman has, all his magic points, plus Diamond Geezer, and do a one almighty
see what happens.
Boom, and then fly off or see what happens. Or at which point, then you can get the nuclear bomb out and go, leave us alone or we're detonating the bomb, and use that as a bargaining chip to get out.
That's as good a plan as I could have
Once
come
you
up
kill
with.
the Prime Minister.
I mean, Talisman can unleash 21 magic points, so he can unleash 10d6 unaffected by dividers.
So it's 10d6 plus.
So you're talking 25d6
plus 15d6.
Diamond Geezer on top of that. If that doesn't get round to killing him, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
That's quite true.
Well, Diamond Geezer will get a second attack. You have the element of surprise.
Okay then, Terry, floor the van. Let's
just
get
not
there.
much time, but you do have the element of surprise.
Or the flight ring.
Right, so
you do have the anti. You have the flight rings. You have the anti-Kithra device.
I did wonder about that. That effectively we
you
could
do have a time travel
use that
device
to get,
on you. Actually,
get there before the car turns up, or we could even intercept him somewhere else.
Yep, you could. You could roll back the time by 30 minutes, half an hour, and hit him in Downing Street as he's walking to the car. At which point he's out in the open. You got 2 energy blasts plus Diamond Geezer's double hit.
Yeah, that's actually good.
You could create a hallucination of them getting into a car, whereas in fact they're all standing in the middle of the road. Bodyguards and everything.
Yeah, I like that idea. It'd certainly be easier than trying to chase them down. And
I'm just having to look up the rules for hallucinations, because how to use psionic powers is the major problem when it comes to trying to do something like this. So it affects any onlookers within. So I need to be. So 20 meters. I mean, I could fly and get inside Downing Street, even if I'm on a rooftop. The buildings aren't 20 meters high, I don't think. So small noises, blah blah blah. Total there. So yeah, 10 magic points as it is, but it's classed as a magic power. My psi points are somewhere 15, so it's draining, but I only need to spend 2/3 of my psi points, and I can create a very convincing auditory and visual hallucination. So I can have the entourage entering an illusory car and fool Downing Street into thinking they're driving off, when in actual fact the rest of you are pummeling him to death.
Yep.
Not very heroic, but we're talking about saving the world here.
Yeah.
Yep. And you have been tasked with killing the Prime Minister. Assassinating.
I think it's
Assassinating, or is it just
assassinating,
murdering him
spelt
for
murdering.
the betterment of all? Yeah. Well, you will gain the element of surprise. The ambush or surprise. It's either.
So do we want to get onto the rooftops overlooking
Yeah.
entrance to Downing Street?
Yep, because you have the anti-cathode device, because of the time travel, you can Bill and Ted it and walk up to the gate. You go into a building. There's two guys there, so you roll it back, come up with a plan to move them out of the way. Then you roll it forward, and you are able to get to the roof of the building after rolling time back and forwards to avoid being seen.
Yep, makes sense.
You do find by the time you've got to the top of the building, there is almost a gleeful sense of teenage joy in what you've just done. It is really cool to be able to go backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards. Kind of move out the way, and the guy walks past you. You run past him. There's a degree of fun. It's the most fun you've had in ages. It's a bit. You're gonna have to give this thing up, but it's a lot of fun. Running backwards and forwards through time, just by a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds here and there to avoid people, but you're on the roof.
Excellent. And do we have an estimate how much time we have?
You've got as much time. Now you're on the roof. You've got as much time as you want.
And everybody complies.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Because time adjusts itself. Once you've killed him, the deputy PM will become the PM. Because time will adjust itself.
yeah.
And the time loop, the time lock, prevents the deputy PM being the person that releases the Nightmare Queen, because you've got an additional lock in place, if that makes sense.
Sure.
You are, given that you've
okey-dokey.
spoken to the anachronic man, you're confident that the time elements will work. You just need to get the amount of damage
So
done to kill him.
from Sally's point of view, I can't find anything in the rules that requires me to make any sort of roll. It looks as though I've just got to. I'm out of the combat, Vlad. That's the problem. I've got to fully concentrate to the exclusion of anything else. Well, I'll keep that safe. That's fair enough.
Yep. But you can sit there with the anti-Kithra
Yeah.
device. And so if you're concentrating, if something goes wrong, you can unconcentrate, dial it back, kind of thing. But in terms of combat, I'm going to allow you 1d4 attempts kill him by rolling time back if you fail. If that makes sense. Otherwise, you can be we'll be here for weeks trying to do this.
Go on, Roger. I'll let you roll.
So
for
somebody
that,
roll a
mate.
1d4, and that's how many it goes, or 1 plus 1d4, because then at least you get 2 goes to kill him.
Oh, best of 3. I like that.
2. So you get 3 attempts. That works. So attempt 1, you get the hallucination, and you can see the guys walking to the space where the illusionary car is, and they all kind of swat down a little bit. There's a driver, passenger, and the PM in the back. The police guys kind of step on imaginary vehicles, and the security guys are in. It's a kind of a line of human beings in imaginary cars. So, phase 1 has happened.
Right.
So, because you are targeting 1 person,
Okie dokie.
so there's no armor.
I suppose the next question
His
is:
defense class
do we
is
get any
5.
strike bonuses or not?
So the attack, so
Well,
the
no,
target
he
is
isn't.
unaware of attack +2. Is he restrained or grappled? No, but he is. He's sort of restrained because he's sitting in a hallucinatory vehicle. So he's mentally restrained because he's not moving. He's in a squat position.
From above,
So we'll split the difference. That should be 6. So let's say you get +3. You're unaware of attack. No, it should be +6. You are. So you're actually going to get. So you're attacking. If you attack from behind him, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You get +9 to your first attack.
Yeah.
You
Do you want to go first?
But that'll be your So that for +9 to your first hit, you're all going to go at the same time. So +9 to each hit.
Okay.
So his defense class is 5.
Your
Your weapons
rolling a
attack, that weapon
D20.
is 3, so you get
This
so
is
it's
for
10
your
or more.
electro arc pistol
So
that you've
got to get 1 or
upgraded.
more.
So yeah,
He's done all right there.
So a 1 misses. Anything else hits.
yeah.
Boom! You've hit him.
So,
so you've got
15,
your
if you're going to do it in
15
one go, which
damage.
is the suggestion,
15d6. It's all hit to kill. So 15d6.
That looks pretty impressive. So now we've got Talisman's Energy Strike.
Yep.
Where are we for that? Weapon class 3.
So it's 10d6, isn't it? So.
Well,
so again, it's 1 or more. So one's an instant failure.
6. Now how do I increase the number? Is it advanced dice roller?
And then was it 10d6?
Because I seem to go up to 5 as the number of dice I can roll.
you
Yeah.
type.
Oh, see, I've just
Or you can just type
rolled
into
one
the
dice there. That's
chat,
not what I wanted at all.
/r space 10d6.
Okay, I'm just having a look at that. So 10.
You can do the
10d6,
basic
there's
advanced dice
nothing
roller.
to
That
add.
will work.
Right, so take this one. That's 37 from the magic strike. Do you want to do Diamond Geezer, Roger?
Yep.
So it's a D20 again. Weapon class is 3.
No.
So,
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bad roll.
So
that's
I mean,
that's,
he can
you
use
got
his
plus
Thunder
9 to
Punch
this.
again because it's
So
a fresh combat.
Okay.
So again, 3d6 plus 12 hits to coma, and I suggest 1d6
Yep.
plus 33 hits to kill. 1d6 plus 33, which is his strength bonus.
Yep.
3d6 plus, what did you say?
Oh, sorry, the hits to coma. 3d6 plus 12.
No, I mean the first one you said was.
It's
1d6 plus 33.
6, 2.
And
Another 37 hits to kill. That is some damage.
Okay. So there's a massive blast of electrical energy that hits Chameleon, and you see him go from being Forbes Bryson to being Chameleon. Then a massive hit of magical energy pulses through as he starts to shake violently and starts frothing at the mouth. And then from nowhere, Diamond Geezer kind of just lands almost directly behind him, and you can hear the crunch of his bones as Diamond Geezer literally pounds him into the ground, leaving nothing but dust. Chameleon is on minus 45 hits to kill. So in addition, so his hit, so his pushback's 20. So, you know, in addition to all of that, you knocked him straight into the base of Downing Street. Almost killing him instantly. And as he raises his hands, all that's left is the crushed shape of a black raven. At that moment, the hallucination
Not that I
drops.
think that'll do him much in the way of harm, but he
and
has got his
Diamond Geeze's
flight
got a
rings,
couple of
so
seconds to get out of there before everyone starts shooting at him.
everybody out.
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah, he's on.
So Diamond
Tough
Geezer's
Skin 2.
diamond body does
Oh yeah, it says
create a
Tough
lot
Skin
of
2.
armor.
Yeah, his defense class 3.
Bullets will start ping.
I'm not
Something like
convinced
that.
his dividers are right, you know. Not on my sheet I've got for him. Yeah. Okay.
No, I think there's an issue with his device. That said, he's going to take glancing blows essentially as you fly out. All you need to get
time
fly
to
out
fly.
and be on the roof of Downing Street to stop the bullets. But the soldiers will just kind of run in and start charging up the stairs.
Got to be the O2 Arena, do you think?
So, where are you going?
Or shall we head back to Buckingham Palace and hope that Time Lord and the boys do the job on Nightmare Queen?
Yeah.
They're simply going to put a trap in. So 2023 will be time locked, but you're still in 2023. You're going to have to either use the Antikythera device and go to 2024 outside of the time lock. If you do that now before the time lock goes into place, you are out of the time lock. If you cannot use the time machine once the time lock's gone down, that's the point of the time lock. So you could run to the O2 Arena,
Vlad,
got the nuke off, and then
it might be
time jump to 2024 and get out.
It's fine by me. I'm not too keen on carrying it around. And
I'm not
convinced it'll destroy you, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, I mean, if they're going to be successful in trapping, well, whatever we've got to get out of here right now, at least get a few 100 meters away from where we are now. And we can discuss what
they were very confident, and I don't see any reason to doubt the people that can live in a Edwardian terraced house in the middle of the sun.
Well, we've done
as you do.
Now, is that as we drop the nuclear bomb on the O2 Arena, or do we just go now?
Jump to 2024.
I mean, you do have the nuclear bomb.
As Meatloaf said, all nuked up and nowhere to go.
Shame not to use it.
Yeah. Well, what do we gain by setting it off at the O2 Arena?
If you kill her, you don't have to worry about the time lock.
It might be worth a go.
But she stays dead and cannot escape the time lock.
Yeah.
We're all flying as fast as our eagle rings will take us.
Okay.
Or are they No, I've got confused as to who had a kestrel ring and who had an eagle ring.
Yep.
I can't remember, but
one of you had the kestrel ring,
and you're the mechanical genius. I don't know if you need to prime that core, or if you can literally just drop it from a height and it'll go off. I don't know. I'm a chemist, not a nuclear physicist.
No.
It probably needs to be placed and primed, and then it'll go off within.
You think that this is an easy thing to do? The civilization that you're in is, you think you can do it quite easily.
Mm-mm. Can we set it to go off? Can I set it off to go off in a minute
And
or a couple of minutes, giving us time to? It's confusing with the shifting forward in time.
and does Vlad need to cannibalize the electro arc pistol
use the
to act as some sort of priming timer mechanism?
Yep.
There you go. Sorry, Roger. Being a long-standing GM, these are the sort of things that occur to people. I don't want to take your gun away from you, but it just seems like a neat way to wrap it up. It's like the Doctor finding a bunch of electrical circuits and making a Dalek jammer.
Yes, that kind of then, yeah. Just seeing if I can.
Yeah. That's the way. If there's no, that's the only way to do it. I'll do that. But so let's fly. Can we fly to the top of across to the top of the? Oh, hang on. It's up. How much of the arena is left? Because it was sort of up in smoke, wasn't it?
So there is the center of where the arena is. There is a circular cutout where the heat exchange or whatever it is kind of pumping stuff out. That is where the kind of the black smoke energy is coming out of, almost like it's a magical. It's almost magical energy is coming from that point, or being forced out into the atmosphere at that point.
So the dome is still there?
The dome is still there. Now, we know that the dome's quite a gust of wind will blow the dome off. Heavy storm has blown it off in the past, blown bits off.
Land? I thought we were going to fly as close as we can without being sucked up into a magical vortex and just lob it in.
So
you can avoid the magical vortex. You've got no ranged weaponry now. You'd have to really drop Diamond Geese on the roof and get him to peel back a bit of the roofing, and then just chuck the bomb in.
Mm-mm. Okay.
Detonating above will have a lesser effect. It needs to be. It would have create an area very similar to Tunguska, which is an airburst thing, but dropping it into the. You could almost set it up so that the energy weapon plus a mobile phone gaff taped to it. Open the arena, drop it in, dial the number, and that split second where it goes boom,
there was
you
a
just
hole
dial
in the roof
forward
with the magical energy coming out of it,
or whatever it is, and kind of teleport out.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okie dokie. Well, at least having these flight rings makes things like that
it's
easier
kind of
to
coming
do.
out that side funnel. Yeah, flying and teleporting, being able to
Geordie rigging,
move around quickly.
A phone,
is
stockades,
useful.
electro arc pistol, and the nuclear core. The plan will then be to get Terry onto the roof, rip open a big enough section for Vlad to lob the bomb in, whilst I'm prepping the Antikythera device, and just for the sake of something to do, Talisman will put up his mystic shield, hopefully to keep the magical vortex off our backs in case anything goes wrong. And that's everybody doing something.
So, Diamond Geezer needs to make an attack on the dome. You are gaining the element of surprise because nobody's expecting you to do what you do. As you get closer,
I'll roll
word
the
has got out that the Prime Minister has been assassinated.
Attack,
so you do need to move quickly.
What can go wrong? Yeah, thanks for saying that out loud.
Essentially, a 1 is going to fail. You're going to land on the roof and peel back, so a 1's going to fail and put you back. Thing. He rips a massive section of the roof off as Mercury Man throws the ticking time bomb. As the camera pans the bomb, it turns in the air, and you start seeing the gun, which is wired up to the bomb, turn around, and the telephone, and it's blank, and then suddenly it starts ringing as the camera cuts to you holding a phone, pressing send, as you twist the Antikythera device millisecond later. You jump out as the 1950s nuclear bomb detonates, destroying the O2, and a massive mushroom cloud pours into the sky. That the magical energy, as that bomb goes off, instantly drops. You have killed a lot of people that were in the arena, including the Nightmare Queen. You've got to be going somewhat to survive a nuclear bomb being dropped in your head. Unexpected nuclear bomb being dropped in your head. I must admit, I don't care who you are. Most people could, most superheroes could not survive that. You have to be a specific, and villains couldn't survive that. So a massive explosion goes off, but you have dialed yourself forward.
Yeah.
Some period of time, and as the ringing drops from your ears, and that the bright light kind of fades, you realize actually the bright light hasn't faded. You find yourself standing in a white space, completely white. Some distance away, there appears to be a lady sitting at a table.
Are we saying that the landscape is basically
staring off into the distance,
blank and white all around us? Yeah.
It's a Matrix moment. It's all completely white. You get closer, and she's dressed in medieval clothes, and more of what she's surrounding it starts to appear. She's sitting on a kind of a seat. There's a writing desk in front of her, and to her left-hand side there is a circular
guy in
window, which she's looking through. And through the window, you can see a castle and a guy in shining armor. And she turns to you. Shining armor, and she turns to you and says,
"Oh my goodness! I've
greetings.
Just clicked where we are.
Have you come to watch
My Lady of Shalott?" Oh, you
She says, look,
evil being, Kevin.
indeed. And that's a perfect place to leave it.